I don't look at this as a liberty thing, Congressman Jordan.
Well, that's
I look at
obvious.
this as a public health thing.
The Georgia legislation is built on a lie.
Is the White House concerned that Major League Baseball is moving their All-Star game to Colorado, where voting regulations are very similar to Georgia?
Well, let me just refute the first point you made. First, let me say, on Colorado, Colorado allows you to register on Election Day. Colorado has voting by mail, where they send to 100% of people in the state who are eligible applications to vote by mail. 94% of people in Colorado voted by mail in the 2020 election. And they also allow for a range of materials to provide, even if they vote on Election Day, for the limited number of people who vote on Election Day. I think it's important to remember the context here. The Georgia legislation is built on a lie. There was no widespread fraud in the 2020 election. Georgia's top Republican election officials have acknowledged that repeatedly in interviews. And what there was, however, was record-setting turnout, especially by voters of color. So instead, what we're seeing here is for politicians who didn't like the outcome, they're not changing their policies to win more votes. They're changing the rules to exclude more voters. And we certainly see the circumstances as different. But ultimately, sorry, let me add one more thing. It's up to Major League Baseball to determine where they're holding their All-Star game.
We noticed, starting at the end of the campaign, and then into the transition, and here at the White House, anytime that the president has an event where he is given a list of reporters to call on, Fox is the only member of the 5-network TV pool that has never been on the list in front of the president. And I'm just curious if that is an official administration policy.
We're here having a conversation, aren't we?
Yes, but
And do I take
President-
questions from you every time you come to the briefing room?
Yes, but I'm
Has the
asking about
president taken
president.
questions from you since he came into office?
Unfortunately,
Yes or no?
only when I have shouted after he goes through his whole list. And the president has been very generous with his time with Fox. I'm just curious about this list that he has given.
So
The only member of the 5-network pool never on it, dating back to when he resumed in-person events in Wilmington during the end of the campaign.
Well, I would say that I'm always happy to have this conversation with you, even about your awesome socks you're wearing today, and have a conversation with you, even when we disagree. The president's taken your questions, and I'm looking forward to doing Fox News Sunday this Sunday for the 3rd time in the last few months.
I watch some of the shows. I watched Liz McDonald, she's fantastic. I watched Fox Business. I watched Lou Dobbs last night, Sean Hannity last night, Tucker last night, Laura. I watched Fox and Friends in the morning. You watch these shows, you don't have to go too far into the details. They cover things that are, it's really an amazing thing.
John Solomon should get the Pulitzer Prize. How about these fraudulent writers at the New York Times? They get Pulitzer Prize and they got it all wrong. Now, the people that were right, like Sean Hannity and Rush Limbaugh, Laura Ingraham and Tucker Carlson, Judge Jeanine and Waters, my Waters. And frankly, the best show by far in the morning is Fox and Friends. Also got the best rating. And Lou Dobbs, how about Lou Dobbs?
senators. How is court packing any different than what the Republicans did in 2016 and 2020?
We filled vacancies.
What?
We filled vacancies.
I know, but
That's
what are
not
they
packing the
doing?
court.
They're doing something that's allowed under the Constitution.
They're packing the court.
Yeah, allowed under
means-
the Constitution.
Lots of bad things are
So
allowed.
I know,
under
but it's
the
not a
Constitution.
destruction to the rule of law if it is in the law.
Sure, it is. It's politicizing the court.
I mean, you politicized the court in 2016,
No, we
Yeah.
filled vacancies.
and they're just adding seats. And the Republicans didn't in 2016 and 2020 with nominations.
We didn't pack the court. We didn't add a single justice. We could have done this same garbage, but we didn't because it would
I
have
mean,
been wrong.
in 2016, you guys.
Look,
you-
if there's a judicial vacancy, Joe Biden and the Democrats in the Senate are entitled to act to try to fill it. And if they nominate someone bad, we'll oppose that justice. I mean, that's the political process.
I mean,
that's how it operates.
and them packing the court is also part of the political process defined in the Constitution. They're allowed to add seats. We've added seats before. Why is adding seats now any different?
We've had 9 justices for 150 years.
That is
Ruth
true.
Bader Ginsburg said it'd be a mistake to change from 9. Stephen Breyer said it'd be a mistake to change from 9. This is an abuse
I mean,
of power. And by the way,
I doubt that they would be approving of what you guys did in 2016 and 2020.
It is simply a fact that Republican presidential candidates have lost the popular vote in 7 of the last 8 presidential elections. Yet only 4 of the last 19 Supreme Court justices have been appointed by Democratic presidents. So let's be clear. The far right did whatever it could to capture the court. They invented a non-existent rule to hold open Merrick Garland's seat for 14 months before confirming Neil Gorsuch. And they violated their own rule just 4 years later to confirm Amy Coney Barrett while an election was already underway. Votes were already being tabulated.
We undo the damage that the Republicans have done by restoring balance. And we do it by adding 4 seats to the court to create a 13-member Supreme Court.
if the Democrats add 4 new justices, it also starts a ridiculous escalation. What does that mean? It means the next time Republicans take over, we add 4 new justices. That is a terrible thing. We don't need a Supreme Court with 35 judges on it.
Those videos speak for themselves. Adam, during his last second of life, did not have a gun in his hand. The officer screamed at him, "Show me your hands." Adam complied, turned around. His hands were empty when he was shot in the chest at the hands of the officer.
Have you been able to, if indeed he process? Do you know yet if the officer had enough time to process that, or do you still need to also?
I don't know if the officer had enough time or not. All I know is that the officer is trained to not shoot an unarmed individual, not shoot an unarmed child.
It is 100% justified. That officer's actions were actually heroic. There's a very good reason why he only shot once. Like I said, he could have been shot multiple times, but the officer assessed in a split second. Unfortunately, he committed to the first shot already, justifiably so.
What is the family wanting to see happen as far as the police department and possibly even the courts are concerned?
The avenues that we're taking legally will be disclosed at a later time, but they want justice for their family. They want reform. They want enhanced training for police officers. Obviously, this officer prematurely pointed the trigger at that young man when that young man complied, and then he shot him.
You're making this a personal thing, and it isn't.
It's not a personal thing.
No, you are. That is exactly what you're doing.
Mr. Chairman, I don't want you to answer my question. The American people want Dr. Fauci to answer the question. What does it have to be?
Expire, sir. If you need to respect the chair and shut your mouth.
When do we get to the point? What measure, what standard, what objective outcome do we have to reach before Americans get their liberty and freedoms back?
You know, you're indicating liberty and freedom. I look at it as a public health measure to prevent people from dying and going to the hospital.
You don't think Americans' liberties have been threatened the last year, Dr. Fauci? They've been assaulted. Their liberties have.
I don't look at this as a liberty thing, Congressman Jordan.
Well, that's
I look
obvious.
At this as a public health thing.
But
I disagree with you on that.
You think the Constitution is suspended during a virus, during a pandemic? It's certainly not.
This will end for sure when we get the level of infection very low. It is now at such a high level, there's a threat again of major surges.
Dr. Fauci, over the last year, Americans' First Amendment rights have been completely attacked. Your right to go to church, your right to assemble, your right to petition your government, freedom of the press, freedom of speech have all been assaulted. I mean, for a year now. So I just want to know, when do Americans get their First Amendment liberties back?
You know, I don't think anything was censured because they felt they couldn't disagree with me. I think you're making this a personal thing, and it isn't.
It's not a personal thing.
No, you are. That is exactly what you're doing.
No, your recommendations carry a lot of weight, Dr. Fauci. We just had the chair of the Financial Services Committee said she loves you and you're the greatest thing in the world.
My recommendations are consistent.
Will the gentleman yield?
No, it's my
Now,
time.
could I answer the question, please? My recommendations are not a personal recommendation. It's based on the CDC guidance, which is
And I'm asking the
question,
what measures have to be attained before Americans get their First Amendment liberties back?
I just told you that.
No, you haven't given anything specific. You said, we hope when this... Tell me specifically.
Right now, we have about 60,000 infections a day, which is a very large risk for a surge. We're not talking about liberties. We're talking about a pandemic that has killed 560,000 Americans.
Mr. Chairman, I don't want you to answer my question. The American people want Dr. Fauci to answer the question. What does it have to be?
Expire, sir. If you need to respect the chair and shut your mouth.
Don't worry about this. We're going to handle this. And I think Mr. Jordan knows me very well. And he knows full well that we're going to handle this. Your time has expired.
Get out of the car now!
I'm serving this country and this is how I'm treated?
Driver, roll the window down. Put your hands out the window. Turn the vehicle off. Put your hands out the window.
What's going on?
How many occupants are in your vehicle?
It's only myself. Why are your weapons drawn? What's going on?
Get out of the car now!
I'm serving this country and this is how I'm treated?
Yo, what? Guess what? I'm a veteran too. I learned to obey. Get out of the car!
What's going on?
What's going on is you're fixing to ride the lightning, son.
I'm honestly afraid to get out. Can I
you
ask you what's
should be.
going on?
Get out! There's no need getting this on your record. I don't want it on your record. However, it's entirely up to you. If you want to fight it and argue, I mean, and I don't mean that disrespectfully, okay? I mean, you have that right as a citizen. If that's what you want, we'll charge you. It doesn't change my life one way or the way.
Yeah?
Yeah. You look like...
I look like what?
You look like an idiot.
Get the away from me.
Stop.
What does he look like?
Please stop.
I chose what I want to wear some. Okay?
Is that
Okay.
right? Is that right?
Think he looks gross?
Touch my boyfriend,
Looks
kid.
disgusting?
Touch it.
Yeah?
Yeah. You look like...
I look like what?
You look like an idiot.
Get the away from me. What does he look like?
Please stop. Oh!
Do not let
No,
your
sir.
hands on me.
Stop.
No, sir. Record you all I
Get the
want.
away.
Keep talking.
Please, please. Say
Look like a
something.
moron.
Get away.
Please.
Listen. Stop.
It's just prom.
This is a special night.
It's kids. It's a bunch of kids. Come on, dude.
Just don't let one thing bother. Just please. Just stop.
I'm sorry. I'm gorgeous.
Stop.
Are you?
Yes. Yep. Just gorgeous.
Stop.
Great. I'm great.
Okay, let's go. Just go and have fun. Let's
He's
go.
the one that's following us. We moved. Like, we moved from over there to over here.
Let's go. Okay.
Seriously, come on, dude. We don't want any problems tonight.
Is it really worth it?
At this point, the hotel staff had gotten word from inside about what was going on, so two other ladies come out and they're like, okay guys, what's going on out here? He pretends like he has absolutely no clue what's going on. He's standing there, he's like, I've just been standing here the whole time, I don't know what's going on, I didn't try to talk to them, I didn't hit him, I didn't try to smack his phone out of his hand. I'm like, dude, I have a minute-long video of you harassing us, you can't just blatantly deny it like that. The staff was really great about everything. They sent him back to the bar because he was pretty obviously drunk, just because they were calling the police and they didn't want him to freak out any more than he already was. And as we were leaving, they told us that they were kicking him out and calling the police.
Is the president going to remove an African-American woman with decades of experience in the Foreign Service, who's widely respected around the world, from her position as ambassador to the UN? He is not.
Thanks, Jen. The U.S. ambassador to the UN, Linda Thomas-Greenfield, talking to a group on Wednesday, essentially said that white supremacy is woven into our founding documents and principles. Now, this statement is getting widely criticized as essentially parroting Chinese Communist Party talking points. So, is the president going to remove her from her position as the representative before that body to promote United States values?
Is the president going to remove an African-American woman with decades of experience in the Foreign Service, who's widely respected around the world, from her position as ambassador to the UN? He is not. He is proud to have her in that position. She is not only qualified, he believes she is exactly the right person in that role at this moment in time. I have not seen her comments. I will say that there's no question that there has been a history of institutional racism in this country, and that doesn't require the UN ambassador to confirm that.
Essentially the same lecture, though, that the Chinese delegation gave Secretary Blinken in Alaska last month. So does the president think our founding documents are racist?
I would say that I will leave my comments to speak for themselves, and certainly I think most people recognize the history of systemic racism in our country, and she was speaking to that.
All right, let's stop, ma'am. I don't think you want to play it this way. Ma'am, please stop. You want to stop with lights on, siren? Stop. You just left Walmart. Do you need to be arrested right now? No. Okay. Let's stop. Come on. Come on.
I'm going home.
No, on the ground. Stay on the ground. Are you finished?
I'm going home.
Hey, stand up. We're not going to hold you.
All right, just go to the ground. On the ground. On the ground. What? What are you doing? Get out of here. This is not your business.
You guys are okay?
Yep, we're good.
You're a little muddy, dude. I think we're doing
A little
inspections.
bloody, a little muddy. That's how it works.
Yeah. Is the blood on her?
Yeah, that's our blood.
Daunte Wright.
Say his name.
Daunte Wright.
They murdered my nephew. She killed my nephew. Every pistol, every taser, it has a safety on it. She saw that, she had to release that. I watched that video like everybody else watched that video. That woman held that gun out in front of her for a long damn time. A long damn time.
Yes, she did.
My nephew was 20 years old.
Tell him
20 years old. I don't care what nobody got to say about him. He was loved.
Yes,
he was ours. He came from us. My brother and my sister's hurt. Like I said, this is no broken home. This is no broken home. This is 23 years of love. 23. My nephew was 20. Did y'all not see my little great nephew? Did y'all not see that beautiful baby? He is fatherless. Not over a mistake, over murder. That's murder.
Murder.
Say his name.
Daunte Wright.
Say his name.
Daunte Wright.
I wear this shirt. And the craziest thing is to find out today that my family has connections to this man, to this family. His girlfriend was a teacher for my nephew.
My Lord.
My nephew was a lovable young man. His smile. Oh, Lord, the most beautiful smile. Y'all took that. My nephew's blood is on y'all hands.
Tell him nice.
I've never seen my brother hurt like this before. Never. To hear my brother and to see my sister's pain. Come on. Hold her accountable. Hold her higher than accountable. You train people on this stuff. You train people on this stuff. 26 years. 26 years.
Veteran. Kimberly Potter. Okay. Say whatever you want to say.
Y'all took him. They need to pay. She needs to pay.
Can you tell us what that means for her to have resigned after seeing that video, what it means to the family, and if we could hear from the family?
Okay. Now Isha is going to respond.
Great. Great.
What else do you want to see?
Well, I hope that since she went ahead and she resigned again, that they hold her at the highest, because she was the law. She was the law, right? Protect and serve. Put her in jail. Like they would do any one of us. They would put us under that jail cell. It wouldn't be no accident. It'd be murder.